Alright, this is a video for exercise 16.1. The name of the exercise is transfer an IPW using automatic part positioning. And all of this is part of the step called in-process workpiece transfer. Step number 1, review the part and blank geometry. This setup assembly for this activity has a main MCS with 2 workpieces. There is an MCS for each workpiece. Open NX12 IPW work part flow manufacturing 1 is already open. Review the geometry view of the operation navigator, okay, which is here. The workpiece 1 geometry pattern for the first setup will become the IPW source for the workpiece 2 geometry pattern in the next setup. Okay, so it should be as follows: MCS main, MCS 1, and then workpiece, and then cavity mill, cavity planer, all the operations, blah blah blah. Well, let's not do the blah blah blah, let's do it in order. Workpiece 1, cavity mill is an operation, planer mill 1 is an operation, face mill is another operation, planer profile, another operation, hole milling, another operation, hole mill SM, another operation, and then mill B and D. I don't know what that is, but we'll find out. And then planer mill 1, and then there is MCS 2, and then workpiece 2, which is, I'm assuming, the second operation. Okay. We're gonna go to the next sub step. Click MCS 1 to display the MCS for the first setup. So we're gonna click here, and there it goes. We can see the first setup, right, which is this one here. And then click workpiece 1 to display the part and blank geometry for the first setup. Yeah, here, there it goes. That's the first setup, the part and blank geometry. Okay, that's good. One part is in first setup, 2 blank in first setup. Okay, yeah. This part is for setup 1, and this blank is for setup 1. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Set the IPW positioning type for workpiece 1. Okay, let's read again. Set the IPW positioning type for workpiece 1. Step 1, double click workpiece 1, double click. In the mill geometry dialog box, click specify blank here. In the blank geometry dialog box, verify or set the following: IPW position group, positioning type equals part. Okay, let's extend this. IPW position group, position type is part, is set up to part. Okay, that's the way it should be. Step 4, click OK twice to save the blank definition. Okay, and okay. Sub-step number 6. Click MCS _2 to display the MCS for the second setup. Okay, so we click here. What's the difference? Okay, yeah. So when we click here, we can see the MCS is right here on this corner for operation 2 or for setup 2. When we click here, we can see that X0, Y0 is on this corner. MCS1 is on this corner, MCS2 is on this corner. Alright. Click workpiece 2 to display the part geometry for the second setup. So we click here. Now we see the part, which is the same part obviously, but is the second operation or setup 2. Alright. Step number 2, generate and verify the operations. Right click workpiece 1 and choose generate. Right click workpiece 1 and click generate. We're gonna accept obviously toolpaths, I'm assuming. Okay, right click workpiece and choose generate. In the generate toolpath dialog box, click accept toolpaths. Select, okay. It's gonna generate some warnings. The tool diameter is too large. The tool diameter is too large. Okay, we'll see. We'll see what is this about, because I don't see anything about here in the instructions about that stuff. Alright, in the toolpath visualization dialog box, click the 3D dynamic tab. In the toolpath visualization dialog box, okay, select workpiece and choose home tab operation, verify. Okay, so we wanna toolpath, verify. And then in the toolpath visualization dialog box, click 3D dynamic here, and then click play. We're gonna slower. We're gonna go slower. Now we're just gonna go play. Let's see what happens. Let's go faster, faster. Click play. Alright, we already click play. Click OK. We're just gonna click OK here. Now step number 3, define the blank for the second setup. Alright. The part geometry in workpiece 2 is already defined for you and uses the wave link body. A wave link body is not a prerequisite, but the part geometry in both setups must be from the same source. When you use part positioning, you can choose, number 1, the same wave link body for both setups. Number 2, the same assembly occurrence of the part geometry for both setups. In the operation navigator, double click workpiece 2. In the mill geometry dialog box, in the geometry group, click specify blank. In the blank geometry dialog box, set the following parameters. Type list equals IPW. In process workpiece. Alright, in the blank geometry dialog box, set the following parameters. Type list equals IPW. Okay, type list equals IPW in process workpiece. So this is where we select this one here. IPW position group, positioning type equals part, positioning type equals part, that's good. In the IPW source, click select source for IPW. In the IPW source group, click select source for IPW, which is right here, select source for IPW. In the IPW source dialog box, the copy IPW from option is word part, which is the default. Okay, word part, this is default. In the hierarchy list, expand the collapse nodes. I'm going to expand this, and it should look like, let's verify, MCS main, MCS1, workpiece 1, and then the operations. Okay, and then MCS2, and then workpiece 2. It looks good. Everything here looks good according to the exercise. The operations are included in the hierarchy for reference to help you select the correct workpiece. You can only select a workpiece for the IPW source. You can only select a workpiece. Okay, well, that's helpful. Select workpiece 1 and click OK. We're gonna select this one and then we're gonna click OK. Right. In the blank geometry dialog box in the local IPW group, click update local IPW from source. Update local IPW from source, which is here, right here. And then we're gonna read this before we go to the next step. The output IPW of the last operation in the program order view from workpiece 1 becomes the input IPW for your second setup. NX transform the position and orientation of the IPW to match the position and orientation of the part geometry in the current setup. Okay, so it does it automatically. All right, click OK. So we click OK here. In the mill geometry dialog box, click OK. Close the part without saving. Okay, but I was thinking we're gonna see the verifying the simulation. I guess not. Okay, and this is the end for exercise, for the video of exercise 16.1. Transfer an IPW using automatic part positioning. Yeah, well, that's why it's called automatic, because it does it automatically. All right, so we're just gonna stop right here. Oh, we're gonna close the part. We don't save. We stop.